Completing the square method is one of your lessons in your junior high. How this lesson is important? Because if you are solving a quadratic equation and that equation is not factorable, that equation will be solved using completing the square. And this method also was used in deriving the quadratic formula. Now, what is the importance of this lesson in our lesson on conics? So just stick around and I will teach you how. If you are not a subscriber yet, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be updated every time I will upload math video made easy for you. Standard equation of the conics. So each conic has a unique standard equation. And on the right, so there are the different types of conics, including their different standard equations. So the general equation of a conics can be transformed into its standard form and vice versa. To transform a general equation into standard equation, it is done by completing the square method. So completing the square method is the prerequisite skill in graphing, in transforming general equation to standard form. In completing the square, suppose we have the expression x squared plus bx. So our goal is to find a constant that we are going to add in this expression such that this expression becomes a perfect square trinomial. Suppose we will model this expression x squared into a square whose side is x. So to find the area of the square, we just multiply the side or we just square the side. So this is the representation of this expression. Suppose this expression also is being added to this given expression, so we will model this expression as bx. So if this side is the x, this side, the shorter one, is represented by b. So if we complete this two parallelogram to make a square, what part of this square is being added to make this a square? To do this, we will get the half of this rectangle. So if this is b and this is x, this side of the rectangle, if we will cut this into half, to represent this side is b over 2, or half of this side is b over 2. If we will cut this one into half, and we will connect this into the side of the square, and also at the bottom, this figure will be formed. So as you can see, we have a lacking part here. So this lacking part, to complete this square, this side is represented by b over 2 because this is equal to the side of this rectangle. So since this is a square, so this side also is represented by b over 2. So therefore, if we connect this side to this figure, this will make a square. So in order to make this expression a complete square, we need to add the square of the half of b. How are we going to make the given two expression into a perfect square trinomial? So ax squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared to make this equation a perfect square trinomial. Now, in completing the square method, we have to bear in mind that we are working with equation. Hence, since we are dealing with equation, we have to bear in mind that to maintain the balance of the equation. So if we add b over 2 quantity squared at the left side of the equation, we must add the same expression at the right. So for example, x squared plus 8x is equal to 0. So in this case, we have to recall that our goal is to make this expression a perfect square trinomial. Why? So that we can factor this one into this form. So a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, its factor is a plus b quantity squared. Conversely, the product of a plus b quantity squared is a perfect square trinomial a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Suppose we have this one. So what constant are we going to add such that this expression at the left becomes a perfect square trinomial? So in this case, we need to get the half of b and we are going to square it. Take note, b is the coefficient of the middle term or the linear term, the term with positive 1 exponent. So 8 divided by 2. Since we added this expression at the left, we have to add the same expression at the right. So simplify, the half of 8 is 4, 4 squared. Then further simplification, so this is 16 and this is also 16. So this expression can be written into x plus 4 quantity squared. If you are using the variable x, so to factor this out, you just write x. What is the partner of x? The partner of x would be the half of b. So since our b is positive 8, the half of positive 8 is positive 4. Therefore, our factor is x plus positive 4 or x plus 4. Then we just raise it to 2 or quantity squared. And we just copy 16. So next example, y squared minus 6y is equal to 0. So our b is equal to negative 6. So we just copy y squared. We just copy negative 6y. We will add the half of b being squared. So our b is negative 6 divided by 2 to get the half, then quantity squared. Add the same expression at the right. So therefore, it would be y squared plus minus 6y plus the half of negative 6 is negative 3, then quantity squared. We just copy negative 3 quantity squared. So negative 3 quantity squared is positive 9 because negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 and also positive 9 here. Factor this out. So y, since we are using y, we'll write y. The partner of y is the half of b, and the half of b is negative 3. That is why y minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 9. So that skill is very important in our lesson in transforming general equation to standard form. Suppose we have the equation x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 4y plus 1 is equal to 0. What is the standard form of this given equation? So based from our previous video, in our previous lesson, this equation is an equation of a circle. Why? Because a is equal to 1 and c is also equal to 1. So this is an equation of a circle. So in the previous part of this video, the standard equation of a circle is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared, which is equal to the radius squared. So the equation must be written into this form. In completing the square, suppose the given equation is in a general form, you have to group the terms with the same variable. How are we going to group quantities? We will put them in a parenthesis. So x squared, then minus 2x. Then always put plus, then group the terms with y, so y squared, then minus 4y. So first thing to do, we are going to transpose the constant at the right. So by virtue of the addition property of equality, so this positive 1 becomes negative 1. So our goal is to add a constant such that these terms, this group of terms will be a perfect square trinomial. So to do this, we will add the square of the half of b. From the first expression, so our b is negative 2. Getting the half of negative 2, we have to divide it by 2 and raise it to 2. Since we add this constant at the left, we have to add the same constant at the right. In the second expression, our b is negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 2 raised to 2. So you will add also the same constant at the right. So simplify. So x squared minus 2x. So the half of negative 2 is negative 1. And negative 1 quantity squared is positive 1. So this is the simplest form of this given expression. So the half of negative 4 is negative 2. And the square of negative 2 is positive 4. So that is why this is positive plus 1 and plus 4. So further simplification. So x squared minus 2x plus 1 is already a perfect square trinomial. So to factor this out, so you just copy x. The partner of x is the half of b. Our b is negative 2. The half of negative 2 is negative 1. That is why x minus 1 quantity squared. Plus, we are using y here. So this must be y. The half, our b is negative 4. The half of negative 4 is negative 2. That is why this is y minus 2 quantity squared. Simplify the right side of the equation. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So we just copy 4. So this is now the standard form of this given expression. So x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus 2y minus 11 is equal to 0. So again, a is equal to 1. C is also equal to 1. So this equation is also an equation of a circle. To transform the equation into standard form, again, we group the terms with the same variable. So x squared, copy, group with 4x, then plus y squared, then plus y. Then this negative 11, by virtue of addition property of equality, this will be transposed at the right. So this will change into positive 11. Okay, so complete the square. By the way, before completing the square, make sure that the coefficient of the first term, or a, must be positive 1. So in this case, this is already positive 1. This means that we are ready now to complete the square of this given expression. So x squared plus 4x. So what we are going to do, our b is 4. Get the half of b. So divide it by 2, then quantity squared. Add the same constant at the right. Next, y squared plus 2y plus the half of b, the half of 2 is 2, 2 over 2, quantity squared. Add the same constant at the right. So simplify. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, then 2 squared is 4. Then 2 divided by 2 is 1, then 1 squared is 1. Then 11 plus 4 plus 1. So this is already perfect square trinomial, so factor them out. So x, copy. Then partner, the half of b. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. That is why this is x plus 2 quantity squared. So y, then half of 2 is 1. So y plus 1 raised to 2. Then is equal to 11 plus 4, 15 plus 1, 16. This is the standard form of this given equation. As you can see, the constant being added to the variables, these are the half of b. Next example, 9x squared plus 4y squared minus 36x minus 108 is equal to 0. So group the term, in this case, so our a is equal to 9, our c is equal to 4. So a and c are not equal, and a and c are the same sign. So this equation is the equation of an ellipse. So the equation of the ellipse is x minus h quantity squared all over a squared plus y minus k quantity squared all over b squared is equal to 1. So we are going to translate this equation into this form. How? Again, by completing the square. So to complete the square once again, so don't forget that we are going to transpose first the constant at the right by virtue of addition property of equality. So group the terms with the same variable, so 9x squared and negative 36x. So we just copy positive 4y squared. Now, before you complete the square, make sure that the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. So in this case, this is positive 9. And as you can see, 9 and 36, these two terms, 9 is the common factor. By using the common monomial factoring, which is 9, so 9x squared divided by 9, that would be x squared. Then 36x divided by 9, that would be negative 4x. So this is now positive 1. Then we just copy positive 4y squared and positive 108. So we are now ready to complete this expression into a perfect square trinomial. To do that, get the half of b. So we just copy positive 9. So our b is negative 4. Get the half of b. So that is negative 4 divided by 2 quantity squared. Now, since we added constant negative 4 over 2 here, and since this is a factor 9 here, so this 9 must be multiplied to this one. So you will add 9 times negative 4 over 2 quantity squared also to the right. So further simplification, you just copy 9. So this is now a negative 2 squared is positive 4. Then just copy 4y squared, and this is positive 36. Then 4 times 9 is 36. Then further simplification, so factor this out. So this is 9. So x, copy x. Then partner, the half of b. So the half of negative 4 is negative 2 quantity squared. Just copy 4y. Then is equal to 108 plus 36. That would be 144. In the equation, standard equation of the ellipse, the right side of the equation must be equal to 1. So since this is 144, we will divide both sides of the equation 144. Simplify. So 9 divided by 144 is equal to 1 over 16. Then 4 divided by 144, that is 1 over 36. Then is equal to 1. So this is now the standard equation of this equation of an ellipse. Next example, 4x squared minus y squared minus 6x minus 2y plus 11 is equal to 0. So our A is equal to 4, our C is equal to negative 1. And since they are not equal and they are in opposite sign, therefore this is an equation of a hyperbola. So the equation of hyperbola is x minus h quantity squared all over a squared minus y minus k quantity squared all over b squared is equal to 1. Transform this equation into standard form by completing the square. In completing the square, we have to group first the terms with the same variable. So 4x squared and negative 16x, always use plus. Then negative y squared minus 2y. Then just transpose positive 11 to the right becomes negative 11. Before completing the square, make sure that the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. So since this is positive 4, we have to extract the common factor which is 4. So 4x squared divided by 4 is x squared. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4x. So this must be also positive 1 and this is a negative 1 here. So extracting the negative 1. So negative y squared divided by negative 1 would be positive y squared. The negative 2y divided by negative 1 is positive 2y. We just copy negative 11. So in this case, we are now ready to complete the square. So get the half of negative 4, then get the half of positive 2, and add the same constant at the right. But again, take note, there is a factor here. Therefore, in the first constant that we added at the right, it has to be multiplied by 4. Plus negative 1, then times 2 over 2 quantity squared. Okay, further simplification. So we just copy 4. So negative x squared plus 4x. So negative 4 divided by 2 is 2. Quantity squared is 4. Okay, minus y squared minus plus 2y. So, negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. So, 1 quantity squared is 1. Okay, so copy negative 11. So, this is 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. And this is negative 1. Okay, factor. Just copy 4. So, x. The partner is the half of negative 4. So, that is negative 2 quantity squared. Then, minus y, copy. The half of 2 is positive 1. So, positive 1 quantity squared. Then, simplify the right. That is equal to 4. Again, the right side must be equal to positive 1. So, divide both sides of the equation by 4. So, 4 divided by 4 would be x minus 2 quantity squared or 1. Then, minus 1 over 4 or 1/4. So, y plus 2 quantity squared over 4. Then, 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. So, this is now the standard form of this given equation. So, next, 16x squared plus 25y squared minus 32x plus 150y minus 159 is equal to 0. Our A is equal to 16, our C is equal to 25, and they are both the same sign and they are not equal. So, therefore, this equation is an equation of an ellipse. So, the equation of an ellipse is x minus 2 quantity squared all over a squared plus y minus k quantity squared all over b squared is equal to 1. So, again, by completing the square, group the terms with the same variable. Okay? So, 16x squared minus 32x, then 20 plus 25y squared plus 150y, transpose the constant to the right becomes 159. So, this is positive 16. The coefficient of x squared, the coefficient of y squared must be positive 1. By factoring, the common factor, so 16x squared divided by 16 is x squared. 32x divided by 16 is 2x. The common factor of 25 and 150 is 25. 25y squared divided by 25 is y squared. 150y divided by 25 is 6y. Copy 159. So, we are now ready to complete the square. So, get the half of 2, negative 2 divided by 2 quantity squared. Then got the half of 6. So, 6 divided by 2 quantity squared. Add the same constant, but it has to be multiplied by the factor. So, 16. Then, the negative 2 quantity squared. Same is true with this given expression. So, further simplification, 16, copy. Then, x minus 2x. The half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. So, the half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So, therefore, this is now 16 plus 225. So, 25 times 9. So, this is perfect trinomial factor. So, copy 16. So, x minus 1. then y squared, copy 25, then y, the half of 6 is 3, so y plus 3 quantity squared. So it's equal to the sum, that is 400. Divide both sides by 400. This is now the standard form of this given equation. So x squared plus 2x plus 2y minus 5. So our A is equal to 1, our C is equal to 0. So in this case, this equation is equation of a parabola. So the equation of parabola is x minus h quantity squared is equal to positive negative 4p times y minus k. In parabola, the term being squared will be grouped at the left, and all other terms including the constant. So complete the square. We're now ready because this is positive 1. Get the half of positive 2. So 2 divided by 2 quantity squared, and add the same constant at the right. So simplify. So this is x squared plus 2x. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we will add 5. Then this is 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. The coefficient of y must be positive 1. So we have to factor out the negative 2. So negative 2y divided by 2 is positive y. Then positive 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And this is now the standard form of this given equation. We will do the reverse, transforming the equation from standard to general form. In example number 6, in the previous example, this is the standard form. How are we going to transform this equation going back to the general form? In this case, we have to recall the square of a binomial. So a plus b quantity squared, take note, this is equal to a perfect square trinomial, which is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. X plus 1 quantity squared is equal to negative 2 times y minus 3. So we have to expand this into the trinomial. So this is square the x, so that is x squared, the first term. Then the middle term would be x times 1 is x, times 2 is 2x. Then the last term would be the square of 1. So square of 1 is 1. So distributive property, negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So you just rearrange the terms. So x squared, then copy 2x, transpose the 2y to the left side, it becomes positive 2y. Copy positive 1, transpose 6 to the left, but becomes negative 6, and that would be equal to 0. Simplify. So this is x squared plus 2x plus 2y. 1 minus 6 is negative 5 is equal to 0. So this is now the general equation of the parabola. So example number 2. X minus 1 quantity squared all over 25 plus y plus 3 quantity squared all over 16 is equal to 1. Since the equation of the conics is a rational equation, so to remove or to eliminate the denominators of the rational equation, we have to multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD. So in this case, the LCD of 25 and 16 is 400. So we just multiply 25 and 16. So each term will be multiplied by 400. So this given term will be multiplied by 400. This given term will be also multiplied by 400. And the constant will also be multiplied by 400. So 400 times 25, we can cancel this out. So 400 divided by 25 is 16. And 25 divided by 25 is 1. And 400 divided by 16, 25. And 16 divided by 16 is 1. So therefore, this is now 16. We just copy the expanded form of x minus 1 quantity squared is x squared. Then x times negative 1 is negative 1x times 2 is 2x. Then square of negative 1 is positive 1. So this is the expanded form of this given expression following this theorem. And same goes with this given expression y plus 3 quantity squared. So the first term is y squared. The middle term is y times positive 3 is 3y times 2 is 6y. Then the last term is the square of 3, which is positive 9. Okay, you just distribute the constant. So 16 times x squared is 16x squared. 16 times negative 2x is negative 32x. 16 times 1 is 16. 25 times y squared is 25y squared. Then 25 times 6y is 150y. Then 25 times 9 is 225. Equate this equation to 0. So transpose the constant at the right and rearrange the equation. Write first the terms which are being squared. So 16x squared, then plus 25y squared, then minus 32x, then plus 155, then plus 16, plus 225, then minus 400 is equal to 0. So further simplification, copy everything but simplify this constant. So 16 plus 25 minus 400 is equal to 159. So last example, x minus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared is equal to 4. So again, this equation is an equation of a circle. So expand. So this is x squared, then minus 2x, then plus 1. So y squared, then y times negative 2 is negative 2y times 2, because this is 2ab is negative 4y. Then square of negative 2 is positive 4. You just copy positive 4. Then remove the parentheses. So this is positive 1, positive 1. So we just copy the terms without changing the signs. So rearrange them. So x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 4y plus 1 plus 4. Transpose the constant at the left. That would be negative 4 is equal to 0. So further simplification, 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. That is why the constant left is positive 1. So therefore, this is now the general equation of this equation of the circle. If you like this video, kindly hit the like button, and in the comment section, kindly send me your thoughts about this video and how can I possibly help you in learning this lesson in an easy way. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.